Upon a time, in the busy city of Lagos, there was going to be the biggest wedding of the year. The bride's name was Chidinma, but everyone called her Dimma. She was beautiful, rich, and about to marry Emeka, the most handsome man in all of Victoria Island. Emeka owned 3 businesses and drove a Range Rover. Every girl wanted him, but he chose Dimma. The wedding was going to cost over 20 million naira. There would be live band, small chops, expensive champagne, and even fireworks. Everyone in Lagos was talking about it. But someone was not happy about this wedding. Someone who smiled at Dimma every day but hated her in secret. Someone who was planning something very, very bad. 3 months before the wedding, Dimma called all her friends together for a meeting at her house in Lekki. "Girls, my wedding is in 3 months!" Dimma shouted with joy and excitement. "And I want all of you to be my bridesmaid." The girls screamed and jumped. There were 10 of them. They had been friends since university, or so Dimma thought. "We'll all wear the same ashrebi," Dimma said. "I have chosen a beautiful purple lace from Dubai. Very expensive. We're all going to look like queens." All the girls clapped and hugged Dimma, but only one person was not really happy. Her name was Adanna. Adanna smiled with her mouth, but her heart was full of poison. She sat in the corner, watching Dimma laugh and show them pictures of the wedding dress. You see, Adanna had a secret she never told anyone. 5 years ago, Adanna was dating Emeka. They were together for 2 years. Emeka promised to marry her. He met her parents. He even paid part of her bride price. Then one day, Emeka went to a party and met Dimma. Just one party. After that day, Emeka stopped calling Adanna. He blocked her number. He returned her things to her house with his driver. No explanation, nothing. 3 months later, Adanna saw on Instagram that Emeka and Dimma were together. They looked so happy, and everyone was congratulating them. Adanna cried for 6 months. She couldn't eat. She couldn't sleep. She just wanted to die. But then something changed in her. The sadness turned into something else. Something dark and evil. She wanted revenge. So Adanna did something very smart. She pretended to befriend Dimma. She smiled at her. She laughed with her. She went to her parties. And Dimma, who didn't know the history between Adanna and Emeka, became her friend. For 5 years, Adanna waited. She was patient like a snake in the grass. She waited for the perfect time to strike. And now, the wedding was the perfect time. 2 months before the wedding, Adanna started her plan. She went to see a woman in Badagry. This woman was known for making special things, bad things that could harm people. "I want something that will destroy a wedding," Adanna told the woman. "I want the bride to suffer. I want everyone to remember that wedding as the worst day of their lives." The old woman looked at Adanna with dark eyes. "Revenge is a dangerous road, my daughter." "I don't care," Adanna said. She brought out 500,000 naira in cash. "Can you do it or not?" The woman took the money. She went to her back room and came out with a small bottle. The liquid inside was clear like water. "This is very powerful," the woman said. "Just a few drops on someone's skin, and within 1 hour, they will collapse. Their heart will stop. No hospital can save them, and no test will show what killed them. It will look like natural death." Adanna's hands shook as she collected the bottle. "How do I use it?" "Put it on their clothes, their body, anywhere it can touch their skin. But be very careful. If you touch it yourself, you will also die." Adanna put the bottle in her handbag and left. Her heart was beating very fast. She was ready to do this. She was going to kill Dimma on her wedding day. 1 month before the wedding, the ashrebi material arrived from Dubai. Dimma organized another party for the bridesmaids to collect their fabrics. Each girl would take their material to their tailor to sew. "Make sure your tailor sews it well, Dimma said, laughing. I want all of you to look beautiful like me. Adanna collected her material and smiled. Don't worry, Dimma. This wedding will be unforgettable. People will talk about it forever. She didn't lie. People would indeed talk about it forever, but not in the way Dimma expected. Few weeks later, after Adanna had gotten her clothes sewn by the tailor, she sat in her room at night. She spread her purple lace on her bed. Her hands were shaking as she brought out the small bottle. She wore gloves, rubber gloves she bought from the pharmacy. Very carefully, she opened the bottle. The liquid had no smell. She raised it up and was looking at the poison while smiling. She said to herself, I can't wait for Dimma to finally chill in hell. As she was looking at the bottle, the poison mistakenly fell off from her hand and poured on her dress. Adanna was shocked. Where was she going to get another dress to wear to the wedding? The poison had already touched every part of the dress, the neck, the arm side, the back. She was confused, so she had no idea what to do next. She wrapped the dress in a bag and hung it in her wardrobe. She would not wear it anymore, so she decided to go find a similar purple material to remake the wedding dress. Although it was clear that she was going to be different from the others, but she didn't care. All purple na purple, she whispered to herself. Just then, Adanna had a terrible thought, a thought that made her freeze. What if Dimma died too quickly? What if she died before entering the church? That would not be painful enough. Adanna wanted Dimma to suffer at the happiest moment, right in front of everyone. So Adanna changed her plan slightly. She would not put the remaining poison on Dimma's dress. She would put it directly on Dimma's skin during the wedding, when everyone was busy and distracted. That way, she could control when Dimma would die, right there at the reception, in front of all the guests. It was the perfect plan. Adanna smiled in the darkness of her room. Finally, after 5 years, she would have her revenge. The wedding day arrived with bright sunshine. The church was decorated with purple and gold everywhere. There were flowers at every corner. The photographers were already taking pictures outside. Dimma woke up at 5 a.m. in her parents' house in Ikoyi. Her mother, her aunties, and all the bridesmaids came to help her get ready. The makeup artist arrived at 6 a.m. and by 8 a.m., Dimma looked like an angel. Her dress was white and sparkled with diamonds. Her hair was perfect. Her smile was bright and beautiful. Adanna was there too, helping with everything. She was smiling, laughing, taking pictures, and nobody suspected anything. Dimma, you're so beautiful, Adanna said, hugging her. Emeka is so lucky. Thank you, my dear friend, Dimma said with tears in her eyes. I'm so happy you're here with me. Adanna's smile became wider. I wouldn't miss this day for anything in the world. All the bridesmaids wore their purple ashwebi. They looked stunning. They took pictures together, laughing and dancing. At exactly 10 a.m., they left for the church. At the church, over 500 people were waiting. The church was full. People were standing outside. Lagos society came out. Big men and women, government people, business owners, everyone. Emeka stood at the altar, looking handsome in his white suit. He was smiling and waiting for his bride. The music started, and the bridesmaids began to walk down the aisle one by one. They were all beautiful in their matching purple dresses. Adanna walked in slowly, looking around. She saw Emeka, and her heart was filled with anger once again. This was supposed to be her wedding. He was supposed to marry her. But she forced a smile. Soon, very soon, they will all cry. Finally, Dimma entered. Everyone stood up. People brought out their phones to record because Dimma was glowing. She walked slowly towards Emeka, her father holding her hand. The wedding ceremony began. The pastor preached. The couple said their vows. They exchanged rings. Everyone clapped when the pastor said, "You may now kiss your bride." Emeka lifted Dimma's veil and kissed her. The church erupted in cheers and applause. They were now husband and wife. Adanna watched all of this, clapping slowly. She touched the small container in her purse. Inside was a soaked tissue with the poison. Soon, very soon. At the reception, which was at Echo Hotel, the ballroom was decorated more beautifully than the church. There were purple lights everywhere. The stage was massive. The DJ was already playing music. The couple arrived around 2 p.m. They danced into the hall while everyone sprayed them with money. Naira notes were flying everywhere, and some were even spraying in dollars. Dimma was laughing, dancing, and having the best day of her life. The bridesmaids sat at their own special table, close to the high table. They were eating small chops and drinking champagne. "This wedding is too sweet." One bridesmaid called Ngozi said, "See how Emeka is looking at Dimma. True love." Adana's hands tightened on her glass. She wanted to scream, but she just smiled and nodded. Around 3 p.m., it was time for the couple to dance. Their special song started playing. Emeka held Dimma close and they began to dance. Everyone brought out their phones to record, and this was Adana's moment. She stood up and walked towards the high table. She had the poison-soaked tissue hidden in her hand. "Let me help you adjust your dress, Dimma," she called out, reaching for Dimma's shoulder. But just then, something unexpected happened. Another bridesmaid, called Blessing, ran forward. Dimma, your makeup is smudging. Let me fix it." Blessing reached Dimma first. She started touching Dimma's face, fixing her makeup. Adana stood there frozen. She was too late. People were around now. She couldn't do it. Maybe later, she thought to herself, there will be another chance. She went back to her seat, frustrated. At 4 p.m., they served food. Big coolers of smoky jollof rice, fried rice, moi moi, salad, chicken, beef, fish, everything. The guests were eating and enjoying. The bridesmaids were also eating at their table. They were laughing and talking. "I need to use the bathroom," Blessing announced, standing up. "Me too," another girl called Chioma said. 3 bridesmaids left the table to go to the toilet. Adana saw another opportunity. The remaining girls at the table were distracted, watching the MC perform on stage. But then, something strange happened. Adana felt hot. Very, very hot. Her chest started beating fast, too fast. She tried to drink water, but her hands were shaking. "Are you okay?" Ngozi asked her, concerned. I'm fine," Adana said. But she wasn't fine. Something was wrong, very wrong. Suddenly, from the bathroom area, there was a loud scream. "Jesus! Somebody help! She's not breathing!" Everyone stopped. The music stopped. The whole reception went silent. People started running towards the bathrooms. Adana tried to stand up to see what was happening, but her legs felt weak. The room started spinning. More screaming came from the bathroom. Women were crying. Then someone shouted the words that changed everything. "It's Blessing, oh! She's dead! Blessing is dead!" The reception hall exploded with chaos. Women were crying. Men were shouting. People were running everywhere. Security guards rushed to the bathroom. The hotel manager came running. Someone called the ambulance. Dimma was crying, screaming her friend's name. "Blessing! Blessing! No, Blessing!" Emeka was trying to calm her down, but he was also confused and scared. The bridesmaids were all crying. Some were on the floor, some were holding each other. Adana was still sitting at the table, unable to move. Her whole body was shaking. She felt cold despite the heat. What just happened? Blessing was fine just 20 minutes ago. The paramedics arrived. They went into the bathroom and they came out shaking their heads. "She's gone. We are sorry." There was more screaming and more crying. The police arrived and they sealed off the bathroom. They started asking questions. "What was she doing before she died?" a police officer asked. "She was just eating with us. And then she said she wanted to use the toilet. That's all," Ngozi said while crying. "Did she eat anything different from everyone else?" "No, we all ate the same food." The police were confused. A healthy 28-year-old woman just dropped dead for no reason. They brought Blessing's body out and covered it with white cloths. Her mother, who was also at the wedding, collapsed when she saw it. They had to rush her to the hospital too. The wedding was over. The beautiful wedding was now a nightmare. Guests were leaving quickly. Some were crying, some were scared. Everyone was confused. Dimma couldn't stop crying. Her wedding day, the happiest day that it was supposed to be, had become the worst day of her life. That night, Adana locked herself in her room. She was shaking. She was sweating. She couldn't understand what happened. She had mistakenly poured poison on her own dress, yes, but she never wore it. Does it mean Blessing didn't wash the dress? Now, Blessing had ruined her plan and didn't wash the poison dress. She was going to put the poison directly on Demma. But then, oh God, Blessing! She screamed. Few days earlier, Blessing had gone to Adana's house 2 days before the wedding. Blessing had complained that her tailor sewed her clothes too tight. She couldn't breathe in it. Let me see your own, Blessing had said. Maybe my tailor can copy your size. Adana, not thinking anything of it, showed Blessing her clothes. Actually, Blessing said, this looks like my size. Can I try it? Adana wanted to scream no, but if she did, Blessing would ask questions, and besides, it's been days since the poison poured on the dress. The effects would be less now, she thought to herself. So she said, sure, try it. Blessing wore the dress. Oh, this fits perfectly. Adana, please, can we swap? Your dress fits me better than mine, and mine fits you better. Please now. Adana tried to say no, but Blessing was begging, and Adana didn't know how to refuse without looking suspicious. Then Adana thought to herself, okay, since the poison didn't react on her now, maybe when she wears the clothes longer, like 30 minutes, the effectiveness of the poison has already worn out. Since she's fine, let me give her the dress and ask her to wash it. So they swapped dresses. Then Adana told Blessing, please, make sure you wash this dress very well before wearing it. Like, wash it very, very well. But Blessing didn't take the warning seriously. She laughed it off and said, my dear, you know they smell now, but I'll wash it, don't worry. Blessing took Adana's dress, the poisoned one, but she never washed it, just as Adana had warned. And that's the dress Blessing wore to the wedding. That's the dress that killed her. Adana started crying. She didn't kill Dimma. She killed her friend Blessing instead. Blessing, who had never done anything wrong. Blessing, who was kind to everyone. Blessing, who just wanted a dress that fit better. What have I done? Oh God, what have I done? Adana cried, falling on her bed. The next day, there was no body viewing, no dancing, no celebration, just grief. The police launched an investigation. They did an autopsy on Blessing's body. After 3 days, the results came back. Cause of death unknown, possibly a cardiac arrest or poisoning, but no known poison detected in the system. Blessing's family was devastated. They buried her the following week. The whole Lagos society was in attendance. The people who came for the wedding came for the burial as well. Dimma blamed herself. If I didn't plan this big wedding, Blessing will still be alive. It's not your fault, Emeka kept telling her, but Dimma couldn't forgive herself. The police questioned all the bridesmaids. They questioned the caterers. They questioned the hotel staff, but they found nothing. No evidence, no suspects. Everyone thought it was just a terrible, tragic accident. Maybe Blessing had an unknown heart condition. Maybe it was God's will. That's what people concluded. But Adana knew the truth, and it was eating her up alive. 3 months after the wedding, Adana could no longer carry the guilt. She stopped eating. She couldn't sleep. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw Blessing's face. She saw Blessing laughing. She saw Blessing in that purple dress, the dress that killed her. Adana started seeing things. She would see Blessing standing in her room at night. She would hear Blessing's voice calling her name. She was going crazy. One night, Adana broke down. She called Dimma on the phone. Dimma, please, I need to see you. Please, it's urgent. Adana, are you okay? You sound terrible. Please just come to my house. I need to tell you something, Adana said. An hour later, Dimma arrived at Adana's house. She was shocked when she saw her. Adana looked like a ghost. She had lost so much weight, her eyes were red and sunken. Adana, what is wrong with you? Adana started crying, deep, painful tears. I killed her, Dimma. I killed Blessing. Dimma froze. What are you talking about? Then Adana confessed everything. About Emeka, about the 5 years of pain, about the poison, about the plan to kill Dimma, and how Blessing accidentally wore the poisoned dress. Chidinma stood there unable to speak. Her legs went weak. She sat down slowly, staring at Adana like she was seeing a monster. You wanted to kill me? On my wedding day? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I was angry and I was bitter. I wanted revenge. But I never wanted to kill Blessing. It was a mistake. It was an accident. An accident? Dimma screamed. You made poison to kill somebody and you're calling it an accident. You are an evil, wicked murderer. Dimma stood up and started walking out. Wait! Are you going to tell the police? Dimma turned around with tears streaming down her face. Blessing's mother buried her only child, her only daughter. That woman cries every day. She wants to know what killed her daughter, and you're asking me if I'll tell the police? Please, Dimma, please, I'm begging you. I'm already dying inside. I can't eat. I can't sleep. I'm already being punished. Please. Dimma looked at her former friend with disgust and pity. You are right about one thing. You're already dying. God is already punishing you. And that punishment is worse than anything that prison can do to you. Dimma left. A week later, Adana was arrested. Chidinma told the police everything. They searched Adana's house and found the empty bottle. They went to Badagry and found the old woman who sold her the poison. The evidence was clear. Adana was charged with murder. Her trial became the biggest news in Lagos. Everyone was shocked. Sweet Adana, the quiet one, the one who was always helping, she was the murderer. During the trial, Adana confessed to everything. She didn't fight it. She was tired and she just wanted it all to end. The judge looked at her with sadness and anger. You let jealousy turn you into a killer. You destroyed your own life and took an innocent life. You turned a day of joy into a day of sorrow. Adana was sentenced to life imprisonment. As they took her away, she looked at Dimma, who was sitting in the courtroom. I'm sorry, she mouthed, but Dimma just looked away. Years later, Dimma and Emeka had 3 children. They were happy, but they never forgot that day. They never forgot Blessing. Every year on Blessing's birthday, they visited her grave, placed flowers and prayed. She died because of my foolishness. Adana would write from prison in letters that Dimma never answered. She died wearing a dress meant to kill someone else, and I have to live with that forever. Blessing's mother eventually found some peace. My daughter is with God, she would say. She's in a better place. But the lessons remained clear for those who hear this story. Jealousy is a poison that kills everyone. The person you hate, innocent people around, and most of all, it kills you. This story teaches us that revenge never pays. When you plan evil for others, it often comes back to hurt you or hurt innocent people. Adana wanted to destroy Dimma, but she destroyed herself instead. And poor Blessing, who did nothing wrong, paid the ultimate price. Jealousy and bitterness are like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Choose forgiveness. Choose to let go. Choose to move on, because the life you save might be your own life.